stop. It doesn't stop with these Republicans. Matt Schlapp is chairman of CPAC. And tonight, Schlapp stands accused of grabbing another man's schlap. I'm David Feldman, and this is The Mop-Up. Here's a feel-bad story that is turning into the feel-good story of the year, and that makes me feel bad. Matt Schlapp is chairman of the Conservative Union, and he runs CPAC, which is what Burning Man would look like if, instead of a man, they burnt a cross. A little Schlapp background. In August of 2022, Schlapp invited the ultra-far-right leader of Hungary, Viktor Orban, to speak at CPAC, and as you would expect, Orban was a hit with the white-collar brown shirts. To raucous cheers, Orban attacked gender fluidity and received a standing ovation after insisting marriage was only between one man and one woman. To even more enthusiastic approbation, Viktor Orban mocked same-sex families while reminding his audience of white Christian nationalists that they must demolish those who don't share their moral virtues. So obviously, you don't get any more conservative than Viktor Orban or the man who invited him to speak at CPAC, Matt Schlapp. Matt Schlapp and his lovely wife, Mercedes Schlapp, both worked in the Trump White House. Before Trump, Matt Schlapp worked for Koch Industries as the company's chief Washington lobbyist. And while Matt Schlapp protected a fossil fuels inalienable right to murder our planet, Mrs. Schlapp worked as a lobbyist for the National Rifle Association. Lovely people. Like all good Republicans, there is much blood on their hands, and I don't mean stigmata. Schlapp, that would be Matt Schlapp, represents everything I detest. And I know it's wrong to hate someone, but Matt Schlapp hates me. He hates my friends, and when you factor in fossil fuels, guns, and the homophobia, he's getting us all killed. I do not wish him ill, but I certainly don't wish him well. I mention all of this because tonight I have inappropriate feelings about Matt Schlapp's inappropriate feelings, and I feel guilty, but not so guilty that I want to hide it from anyone. My inappropriate feelings surfaced today when I read that Matt Schlapp, the ultra-conservative chairman of CPAC, was accused of having inappropriate feelings for a man who he then inappropriately began to feel. The victim is a male Republican staffer who worked for Herschel Walker back in October of last year. Now, according to NBC News, the male Walker staffer was assigned to drive Schlapp around Georgia. And after one too many vodka stingers, Schlapp put his hands between the thighs of the male staffer and began to grope the staffer's staff. "To my shame," said the staffer, "I didn't tell him to stop. I didn't tell him to stop." Now, I know I should feel sorry for the male staffer, but he's a male Republican staffer. Am I really supposed to feel sorry for a male Republican staffer who is groped by another man? Yes, I'm supposed to feel sorry for him. But if someone told this very same male Republican staffer the identical story about someone else, his first response as a male Republican staffer would be, "Why didn't you punch him?" Again, I'm sorry this Republican male staffer was violated by another man, allegedly. But not really. I'm not really that sorry. I know thousands of men are assaulted by other men every year. I know it's horrible, but people like Matt Schlapp and Herschel Walker, the candidate our victim worked for, are all about telling Americans to walk it off and stop playing the victim card. I think they would say, act like a man. So while I know I should feel bad for the male Republican staffer, and I'm really going to work hard at feeling bad for him, I just can't help but feel it seems way off brand for a male Republican staffer to ask for sympathy after another male Republican touched him inappropriately. The whole thing comes off as woke, especially when this male Republican victim tells NBC News that he felt trapped by the power imbalance. Seriously? Power imbalance? You're a Republican. The whole point of working for Herschel Walker was to preserve the power imbalance. I'm also not so sure how much of a power imbalance there actually was, considering the male Republican staffer says at the time of the groping, he was carrying a Sig Sauer. That's the gun which came up in the conversation with Matt Schlapp, who, and I'm not making this up, asked the Republican male staffer, "What's that I'm feeling inside your pants?" According to NBC News, the male Republican staffer expressed disappointment with Schlapp, not just for touching him inappropriately, but also, and again, I'm not making this up, because the chairman of CPAC, Matt Schlapp, whose wife also worked as a lobbyist for the National Rifle Association, had no idea what a Sig Sauer is. In other words, the male Republican staffer was horrified that the head of CPAC, this bastion of gun-toting homophobes, hated guns and loved men. And this makes me happy. It shouldn't, but it does. I'm only human. Like Matt Schlapp, I have feelings. I know the male Republican staffer felt pain and humiliation. I would be lying if I said I cared. Yes, I'm immoral. And this runs counter to everything I stand for. It's wrong to delight in the suffering of others. But we're talking about two Republican men. Is it so wrong to delight in the suffering of people who delight in the suffering of others? Yes, it's wrong. I'm wrong. But I can't help it. Like Matt Schlapp, I can't control myself. Their humiliation, Matt Schlapp's humiliation, and unfortunately, the staffer, the male staffer's humiliation, I'm sorry, it makes me feel good. I don't want it to, but it does. And that makes me feel bad. Schlapp's inappropriate feelings are giving me inappropriate feelings. I also know I should feel sympathy for the man who Matt Schlapp kept feeling, but I feel nothing for him. On paper, I totally understand that even a male campaign staffer, a Republican who works for Herschel Walker, I totally get that he is entitled to be safe from getting felt up by Matt Schlapp. but I just don't feel bad that it happened. In fact, I feel good that it happened. I only feel bad because I feel good. Just like Matt Schlapp laying eyes on that male Republican staffer for the very first time, I don't want to feel this, but I can't resist. Can you all forgive me? Unlike Matt Schlapp, no hard feelings. I think Matt Schlapp's feelings were very hard. Matt Schlapp, chairman of CPAC. Well, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. And join me for office hours every Friday night starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. All you need is Zoom. And if you're watching me live right now, the link to office hours is in the description down below. I'm David Feldman, reminding you to stay strong and protect the weak.